Geez. We are walking round to Conway because you can hear in the background cannons are going off. There's something going on with pirates. The Conway Pirate Festival is an annual event held in Conway, just round the corner from where we're moored in Diganwy. This festival celebrates the town's maritime history and pirate lore through a variety of themed activities and entertainment, including costume parades, reenactments, live music and performances, children's activities, market stalls, educational exhibits, boat displays and rides, and lots more. We went over to have a look at what was going on.
Well, that was a fun battle. I believe the pirates won. So Ollie enjoyed being a pirate, didn't you, Ollie?
Did you enjoy being a pirate, Ollie?
Arr.
Have you got a cannon?
Aye.
Arr.
Arr. Say arr. New diesel tank in, and doing that work in the engine bay, fitting the new pipes to the engine, it highlighted to me a job that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and that is properly, thoroughly clean out the engine bay, and if possible get rid of even more old tatty wiring from in the engine bay. So I'm going to have a go at that this afternoon. I reckon most people's engine bays look a little bit like this, unless you've got, you know, a new fancy boat. But most people who have got old boats like we do have probably got engine bays that look something like this. Obviously that's just the engine. Now the engine sits on these big bearers, they're called, and engine mounts. I'll probably replace the engine mounts at some point as well. But down here in the gap next to the bearers, there's a whole load of grime and nasty horrible gunk. It's not wet. It's not wet or greasy or nasty. It's just dirty. And under the engine itself, again, is just the detritus of years. Plus, there's very little insulation in here. So I just want to give this a bit more of a tidy up, really. And I think I'm just going to start with good old-fashioned bucket and soapy water. Come and have a look at what I've achieved. It's impossible to film in there, really. Doesn't look like much, but I've done down one side of the engine, and I've sort of done some of the engine bearers, and I've taken off that old plate where something used to be mounted once upon a time. What I want to do is I want to prepare all these bulkheads because I want to insulate the whole engine room better with some new foam. Cleaning this engine bay could go on for weeks and weeks and weeks. I want to paint it, really, but it's nowhere near ready for painting yet, and it's just, as long as it's cleaner than it was, I'll be satisfied for a bit. In a past life, as some of you know, I was a musician. I played guitar for a living, amongst lots of other instruments, and I used to frequent an establishment in Telford which was a rehearsal room, and the rehearsal room was started by a company that made acoustic foam. So they specialised initially in soundproof foam, fireproof foam, and that kind of stuff, industrial stuff. And of course, the guy who ran the foam manufacturing place thought, oh, I can create some rehearsal rooms and recording studios because I've got the foam to soundproof it all. And I became good mates with him. I went over there the other day and he said, oh yeah, here's a load of foam for your engine bay. So he's given me some of this, which is industrial grade, soundproof, foil backed, extremely thick, self-adhesive foam. I've only got the one piece of that, which is the foil covered stuff. It's mega expensive, but I've got some other foiled stuff to go on top, and also this, which is the same stuff but without the foil on it, but I've got some special soundproof foil to put over the top. So I've got plenty of soundproof foam. I did ask him if he wanted me to do a shout out on the YouTube channel, because obviously when somebody helps us with something like that, we like to say, well, would you like us to promote your company, because you've been very kind? And he said, no thanks, we're snowed under. So here we go. I'm going to start insulating in there. something that's occurred to me that I really should do before I install all this insulation is do a sound decibel check. I want to just see what difference it actually makes. So I'm just going to start the engine. I'm not going to run it for long because I don't want it to get hot, because if it's hot then I have to, or maybe if it's hot I have to stop for a cup of tea to let it cool down. There's an idea. Right, so hang on. Preheat, 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 preheat. Okay, I didn't put any throttle on either, so that was a bit unfair. Can you see that? Okay, so that's in the galley. That's like 84 decibels. It's not a loud engine, it really isn't, but you get noise fatigue if you're motoring for a long time, don't you? So I do want to try and quieten it down, especially if we're on passage and people are trying to sleep. That beep, by the way, when I turn my engine off, is the oil pressure warning. So what that means is if you hear that beep when the engine's running, something's gone badly wrong and there's no oil pressure, so to stop the engine really quickly. But it just, you know, it just tells me that the engine's not getting oil or has stopped. Right, so what did we get there? We got about 85 decibels in the crawl through and about 70-ish. I'll look back on the footage because that's the advantage of doing it this way. And that means when I finish doing all the insulation, I can check how effective it is. I don't know if I'm going about this the right way, but you see the backing paper is kind of tearing up as I'm peeling it off, and I've got a feeling if I don't peel it off here, I'm going to end up with bits of backing paper that I can't get off once it's in that really awkward space. So I'm just going to try and peel it all off. One of the things I noticed last night when I was fiddling around in the engine bay and it was raining was a little bit of water comes in around the edge of the cockpit floor. Now, the cockpit floor is basically a tray that's upside down that sits on a lip. I'll show you that in a second. And I think what's happened is last time whoever had the engine out, they've taken the cockpit floor off, taken the engine out or worked on the engine, put the floor back down and haven't resealed it particularly well. Now, for me to get the whole cockpit floor up and seal it properly, that's a multi-day, multi-person job. So I'm not doing that, but I do want to kind of remedy that a little bit. What I noticed was that up here, look, you can sort of see old sealer and you can see where the floor is kind of bolted down. That's fine. But it was dripping in there when it was torrential rain. So I need to kind of do something about that. Now, clearly our cockpit drains aren't big enough, which is, I don't know what I can do about that. That's a job, that's a massive job for another day, isn't it? I think Eric Andera's had the same issue. And I think it's a feature with lots of boats that the cockpit drains aren't as beefy as, or as big diameter as they should be. But I'm going to clean up round that lip on the inside and on the outside and try and run some new sealer in there. It's not like the right way to do it. The right way is to take the whole floor off and reseal it down. Can't do that on my own, and it's, you know, it's only a drip. So I just want to solve the drip for now. Down here are our cockpit drains, look, and they're not terribly big, and this is the tray and it's leaking along this lip here. So I'm going to put a bead of silicone, well, some Sikaflex actually, along there on the inside and on the outside, and just try and seal it up as best I can, because once I put the insulation on the underside of the cockpit floor, it's kind of going to be a bit too late then. So first of all, I'm going to try to cut away what I can of the old sealant. Ideally, I'd undo all of these nuts and bolts, lift the whole floor up and reseal that properly, but I'm not going to do that because I can't. I haven't got the time. I haven't got the manpower to do that. That's a job for a different day, but it's a day. But I can identify it and remedy it for now, can't I? If you're wondering what sealant I use for this kind of job, Sikaflex EBT Plus. You can get it from B&Q. It's made by Sikaflex, and it's basically the exact same stuff, from what I can tell, as the marine stuff. It's the same chemicals in there. It's got all the same features: flexible, permanent elastic, waterproof, weatherproof, fast curing, strong bond, high grab, non-sag. It's an adhesive sealant. It's an adhesive sealant filler made by Sikaflex. The only difference I think between this and the marine stuff is I think is that the marine stuff has got the word marine written on there, and what they do is they add like extra to the price for the having. Of course, obviously, if you've got marine written on something, it justifies putting quite a lot extra on the price, doesn't it? You know, which you can understand. So so this isn't the marine stuff, and it's a lot less money. So I'm sure as a result of using this, my boat will probably sink because it's not the marine one. But you know, it's a risk I'm willing to take. Right, progress. I thought, oh, well, while I'm in there, I'm waiting for the Sikaflex and the sealant and all that kind of stuff to cure. I will remove the old lights that were in there. These are glass and with like bulbs in, so they had to go. And I kind of got a bit carried away. I've been stripping out even more stuff because I want to get the insulation up against the bulkheads to stop the vibration and what have you, and then mount stuff back on the outside. But yeah, look at this. I've taken off all of the paneling because it was only held on by that, you know what I mean? Terrible. So that all needs cleaning up. There's a few pinholes here where there's been obviously like D-rings and stuff to clip onto in the cockpit missing in the past, so there's drips of water coming in through there. So I'm glad I did take those off. So I'm going to need to put all that back. What it has done though is it's meant that, you know, I have got better access to put the insulation back on properly, haven't I? So it's not a bad thing. I've managed to cover this bulkhead now in the very thick sound deadening fire retardant foam. That hasn't got the foil on, but what I have got is I've got the thinner stuff with the foil on, which I'm going to double up. This stuff is also fire retardant. It's also waterproof. It's also sound deadening. It's just thinner. This is the stuff we had from Amazon that somebody donated some money for, which is fantastic. So I'm going to double it up. I just happen to have a whole load of this composite board. It's basically aluminium, but it's PVC or plastic on either side. So I've cut this to length, and what I'm going to do is use this basically instead of wooden battens to hold the insulation foam up to stop it sagging. Obviously I can drill and put penny washers and screws, but a couple of these will make all the world of difference. It's the next morning and I need to carry on with this engine bay insulation job. So yesterday, as you saw, I stripped off the timbers from here and I've more or less fully insulated the engine bay. What I've got to do now is the port side and starboard side. So I've done the aft end, the forward end and the underside of the cockpit floor. That's all good. I'll show you the whole thing at the end of the video, I guess, at the end of this segment, but I've got to rebuild all of this. So that's going to be my job for today. The woodwork, when I took it all out, bits of it are starting to sort of fall apart, so I need to clamp and glue some of it back together, which isn't surprising given the age of the boat. So I'm going to set myself up in the saloon, I think, to reassemble and glue and clamp those panels. If you're wondering where Melissa and Jack and Ollie are, by the way, they've gone to see my daughter for a couple of days. She's getting married at the end of the month, so it's great that we're here because we can stop where we are until after the wedding rather than be somewhere miles and miles and miles away and have to get trains and what have you back for the wedding. So we're also, well, we're keeping the car until after the wedding, and we're staying where we are until after the wedding because it just makes sense, doesn't it? Right, also means I can be there as dad to help out where possible because I'm local with a vehicle. Right, so my job today is sort out the lounge, set it up and do clamp and glue some of these panels back together. With these just big blobs of fiberglass matting. Horrible. I'm going to do something similar, but hopefully a bit better. I'm going to adhere some laths onto here with some fiberglass, rather than just big blobs of horrible matting like that. Isn't that awful? Just over here are three little points of light where there was, at one point in the boat's history, a D-ring for people to clip into in rough seas. I'm going to put new D-rings on, but for now I want to stop water coming back in through there. So, and I haven't got a D-ring to put in there, and the chances are if I buy one, it won't have the same hole pattern. So I'm filling up these holes with some chopped strand resin, just to kind of stop water coming in. And then I can put a piece of insulation up in this section and put the board back on. We were planning to sail down to the south coast of England before the wedding and then travel all the way back, but that's kind of just a bit of a silly idea. So what we've done is we've stayed here. Dway Marina have said that we can remain here until after the wedding, which is fantastic. And it also allows me to get a few other jobs done, as you've seen. The other reason that we're staying here is because we've still got water getting into our diesel tank from somewhere. And I've spoken to the insurance company about it, and they've instructed a surveyor, and the surveyor has requested a lift out, and Dway have also agreed to do a lift out for us here, which is amazing. So at very least we can lift the boat out, have a look at the bottom of the keel and see if there's any issues there, any sort of scuffs or damage or anything like that where water could be seeping in. Now it's getting in at a rate of about an egg cup full a day, so it's not going to sink the boat, but I want to find out where it's coming in, because we can't put that proper keel tank back in commission until we've made sure that absolutely no water is getting into it. And currently an egg cup full a day is getting in from somewhere. So we're getting lifted out shortly by Dway Marina here so that we can inspect and maybe do the work on the underneath of the keel. Whether we do the work ourselves or whether the insurance company want to get somebody quote, in inverted commas, professional to do it, you know, that'll be a discussion I have with the surveyor. In the meantime, let's have a look around Dway Marina. I'm just going to go and do a quick show round, because if you have a boat and you're even remotely interested in coming to this part of the world, this place is amazing. What are my first impressions? Why do I say it's amazing? Well, we were originally heading to a different marina, and then we found out that they couldn't accommodate us, which is completely fine. But one of the staff here heard about our plight and reached out to us and said, guys, if we can help in any way, have you thought about coming to us? So we headed over here, and they have just been so helpful. Now, I come in a past life, apart from working in music, you know, when you're a guitarist for a living, it's a rubbish way to make money. So I worked in sales, and I worked in hotels industry and the holidays industry a bit. And one of the things that I'm a bit of a stickler for is customer service. I worked as a regional sales manager for Choice Hotels Europe for a while. And the thing to me that's the selling point of any business like this is the customer service and the staff, and the helpfulness and friendliness of the staff. Obviously the facilities here are just fantastic, but when that member of staff reached out to me and said, listen, can we help you, they meant it. And on the way in, when we got the fuel problems, I was on the radio to them, and we didn't need rescuing, but he said, look, if you need any help, just give us a call, you know, we'll try and help you in any way we can. And they've just been so lovely and so accommodating. So tick number one for me in coming to Dway is the friendliness of the staff, the quality of the customer service, and the, you know, the just niceness of the people here. So this is Eamon, who originally reached out to us when we were looking for somewhere to head to from Carnarvon, and was very, very helpful when we were sort of having fuel problems on the way in. And Eamon's going to give us a bit of a show round.
Here you'll have your gate timetables, so if you wanted the information you come in, it's put on every month. You got tickets here for various contractors. So all the information is there. You get your up-to-date weather report each week as well.
And you've got people here who can do rigging and sail work and fiberglassing, steel work, engineering.
Everything.
Absolutely everything. Yeah. Fantastic.
So we do have full laundry on site if you wanted to come and do your laundry while you're here with us.
Oh, you get a little token and then you can come and do. You've got washers and dryers in here.
You've got washers and dryers, yeah. So you get yourself a token, bring your own washing powder. Ladies' toilets.
Yes,
showers,
we won't go in there.
And the ladies do have baths as well, so there's full.
Brilliant.
And then again for the gents.
Nice shower cubicles. Very clean. Good stuff.
We've also got the disabled facilities.
Oh yeah, amazing.
So again, with this, it's a big walk-in shower.
Right.
So if you're in a wheelchair or whatever, you could still have access to showers.
Right, fantastic.
The marina is fully disabled access as well, down to the ramps.
Absolutely amazing.
So we've got our boat sails here.
So this is the boatyard.
So
what's your capacity here for sort of? You got about 20 or 30 boats
30
out?
boats, yeah.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to work on your own boats. We're not like other contractors where we have to do all the work for you.
Yes, because there are some yards that are very funny about, you know, people doing work on their own boats. Yeah. But you're fine for people to do that.
Absolutely fine, providing you're not using grinders next to other people's boats and stuff like that. Then
as long as you're not doing anything silly.
Yeah.
Common sense.
It is. Yeah. Also on the yard as well, we do have water on the bollards and electric on the bollards as well.
Right, okay. What's the capacity of your lift?
20 tons.
20 tons.
So we're just getting some maintenance done on the hoist itself, just cleaning it up, getting the rust off.
Yes.
And then just general. We do have a full pressure washer as well, so when we lift your boat out,
yes,
and we give it a good clean, it's all pressure washed, all
amazing,
all nice and clean.
Yeah, because we're lifting out on Friday, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's nice to see this stuff getting maintained, because a lot of yards you come into and the cranes are just a complete rot boxes and falling apart.
Yeah.
And you do need to stay on top of that maintenance. Everything's so clean and everything's so tidy and everything's in its place. There sort of isn't rubbish everywhere, which is fantastic.
Also, we have diesel and petrol. We're using the higher octane on the petrol, so it's a lot better for your engine.
Yes.
It doesn't absorb.
Well, it's exactly. I've got a problem with my outboard is that I had old fuel left in the over winter, and I've got to take the carb off and give it a clean because it's not running right for exactly that reason, because it doesn't like it. Doesn't like being left, does it?
No. Yeah. We also have a pump out station as well, so you can't get rid of your black water. Right. You can pump her out for you as well.
Amazing.
So when you're coming into the hoist dock, you'll bring your boat into here.
Yeah.
Excuse the phone, sorry.
That's all right.
And then we'll lower the straps and we'll pick you out.
Yeah.
Access to the marina is 3 hours either side. Is our sluice gate.
That is insane. I mean, what are we on, about half tide now?
Yeah. So for the bigger boats on the single keels, we have got various size holders for them.
Yes.
So you could start off from anything being 20 foot to anything up to
and they're all fully adjustable.
They're all fully adjustable.
Fantastic.
They're serviced every year as well, so just to make sure that everything's fine on them.
This looks quick.
It does. He had a problem with his outdrive. He snapped the bracket. So on site we do have a rigger.
Right.
There's Byron, Naught Bar rigging.
Oh, is he working here on site now?
He's working on site, yeah. He's been here from a long time, really.
Right, yeah. I met Byron before, Irish fella.
Yes,
I met him up at Holyhead.
Right, brilliant. Yeah. He works from here, so we've got pretty much everything on site that we need. We have got like vices, so if you wanted to come in and do your own work on it, you can use the facilities.
So this is Alan. Alan heads up the boat sales team here, and he's going to be telling us a little bit about that side of things and showing us around some of the boats that they've got for sale, which Melissa is then going to go and do proper show rounds of. So you saw the show round that she did of Steel Melody a few weeks ago. Well, she's actually going to start a second YouTube channel purely showing boats that are for sale. So, hi Alan.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Conway Marina. It's the brokerage at Conway Marina. We've got a selection of boats from new to basically second hand. Yeah. And what we'd like to do is perhaps take you around and show you those. Okay, so to start with, we have some stock boats. One is a Rebel 580, and she's now for sale. And we're doing a promo on it as well. So anybody who wants to buy one of our stock boats at the moment will be entitled to getting some free berthing.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah, amazing. What do you mean a stock boat? Like boats that you've actually got in stock?
Yeah, these are actually owned by Lakeland Conway Marina. So,
right.
These boats are actually our stock boats. We've probably got 5 stock boats here on site.
Right, I'm with you. And what is she?
She's a Rebel 580.
580.
Yeah, and she comes with a 7-year guarantee on the Tohatsu engine.
Right.
And she's also got 3 years on the tubes.
Blimey.
And she comes complete with a trailer, this one.
And she's a monster.
She is a monster.
Go anywhere boat.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
The Cobalt is probably the Audi of the sea in comparison to our M20, which is probably the Ford.
Yeah.
And the Cobalt is a renowned boat and fantastic skier wakeboard boat. So again, it's a stock boat, and we're giving some promos on this as well for anybody that buys a boat from us. Again, they can have free berthing. This is a Monterey M20.
Right.
Again, fantastic for skiing and wakeboarding.
Yeah.
She's a lot less in terms of price in comparison to the Cobalt. But she's a fantastic boat for these waters.
Yeah.
So heading out onto the yard, we've got an Atlantic Marina Sun Cruiser 730 for sale. She hasn't got a trailer with her, but again, if somebody wants to put her on a berth here, we've got a berth available for her. It's ex-demo, so it's been here for 2 years. Right. So it's an ex-demo model, never been in the water, right. So you'll get the guarantees and the warranties with her as normal. Yeah. But she's, as I say, she's ready to go, and we've got a promo on her as well, so she's open to offers. Moving round, this is another stock boat, and she's a Vico 30.
Right.
Fantastic sailing boat, not for the faint-hearted, but she's another boat that's on a promo and ready to go. So
right.
she's a swing keel
looks like quite a quick boat.
It is a very fast boat, and she's got a drop keel and she's got a drop rudder on her.
That's one we'd very much like to have a look round.
Okay, and she's got 2 sets of sails. She's got Gosha sails with her as well.
Right.
And she's fully rigged for racing.
So there you go. It's really, really cool here. They've got all the facilities that you need. They've got a great workshop. They've got all the tools and all the equipment and all of the specialist engineering type people that can do rigging and engines and all of that stuff. And the boat sales side of things is really, really cool and interesting. And as I say, Melissa is going to be starting a new YouTube channel purely doing show rounds, because there was such a good response from you guys. You all said when we had Steel Melody for sale that she should start doing more boat show rounds, and we thought, well, we don't want to sort of saturate this channel with that kind of content particularly, but what we'll probably do is link the 2 channels so that when there's boats that she's reviewing, there'll be a kind of tip of the hat, go over to the other channel and have a look at them. So you don't have to sit through all of the boat show rounds if you don't want to, but if you do want to, the videos are there on the other channel. So there you go, that is a very brief look at this incredibly lovely marina, and look at the weather today. We could be anywhere in the world, couldn't we? So there's going to be lots more of this marina, because we're going to be here, as I say, just a very short while, because we're having a lift out to have a look at the underneath of the keel, and we're stopping until after my daughter's wedding, which is just brilliant. So you'll see a little bit more of the area, but we're not going to be here for too long. But before we go, I'm sure you'll see more of the marina and the facilities that they've got there. And as I say, Melissa's channel is about to start soon or she's filming it at the moment to start the new channel with doing the boat show rounds and stuff. So now I guess it's probably time for me to go and crack on with some boat jobs. I just put that board in place at the side here, and I noticed that there's a bit of a gap at the top because obviously I've repaired and put the panels back as they were. So I'm going to put this piece of hardwood moulding along the bottom as a bit of a lip, which will take up some of that gap, hopefully. Unless it's too much, in which case I'm going to kick myself. But yeah, that should do the job, I think. not entirely happy with this gap. I've obviously put this panel a few mil higher than it used to be. So I might think about moving that. I'm going to quickly start the engine and see what difference it's made to the decibel noise stuff. There we go. Oh, that engine is nice and smooth now. So go back to the app on my phone. The results are the results. There's still a gap here, and you'd be surprised how much difference that makes. I think if I can close that up, I don't like this huge, great big panel. It's very big and very heavy. If you need to get at the engine in a hurry, that's far too big. So I'm going to change that, I think. But not now. Again, this was just about keep the boat running, isn't it? So you've seen the results of the sound test on the decibel meter thingamabobber. Now I've just got to show you what it actually looks like so that you can give your approval or disapproval in whatever measure you choose. To start with, this is the board that goes along the side of the crawl through. Now, as I said earlier, I don't like it. I want to cut it in half and make it smaller, but it's teak board with teak trim with 2 layers of thick one layer of thick soundproof fire retardant foam, and then the foil stuff on top screwed on self-adhesive, so that'll never sag, but it's very heavy to move around. Otherwise, that works nicely. Come and have a look in the engine bay itself. So this is now the engine bay itself. I've still got more wiring I want to do here. I'm starting to tidy this up now, and I've pretty much got rid of most of the old wiring that's not doing anything. But this is the engine bay looking across from the front end. That's the side that goes into the cockpit locker. That's the side, that's the aft bulkhead. And then of course the board that you've just seen go kind of here. And as you can see, I've got lighting in here now. I've wired up one, I've got another one to wire up there. It's placed, I just haven't run the cabling. It's a 5-minute job. But I've got a light in here. These boards, as I said, are helping to hold the insulation up should the adhesive fail. And you can't see it, but on the back wall just here, I've got penny washers drilled in different places with stainless steel welding wire lashed across diagonally and vertically. And there's one other nice little feature as well. I have also wired up a red light in here, and I've got another couple to wire up as well. But one white and one red is plenty to get us going, so I can focus on other things. But it just means that if I or somebody has to come down here in the dark, you've got a red light in the engine bay, which I think is a bit of a nice touch. Right, I'm going to show you the whole engine bay now, a little bit of a tour, and then close the episode. Thank you very, very much for watching. As always, thanks to our patrons for supporting us. On that note, if you do want to become a patron, the link is in the description. It's patreon.com/sailingmelody. And thanks to anyone that's given one-time donations through PayPal or coffee or anything like that. Again, links in the description. Cheers very much, guys. See you all next week. Take care. Bye.